Hulk Hogan comes out. Jimmy Hart is just there. And Hulk Hogan, his mic starts cutting in and out. And they have to have a guy come out and switch microphones. And his message was that Raw started a long time ago. Go Eagles. What you gonna do? And Hogan was out.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. No, he was placed in here. Jordan Goodman made a good point about how, the pop was largely for the music, like no matter how you feel about Hulk Hogan, I think
it's also the first person out as well of the whole night.
We can agree that, that song it will always be a banger. And then they just it went straight to him, came out here, said a few words that you couldn't hear because of the mic issues, changed the mic, got the cheap pop for the sports team, and then got the fuck out of there. So this was Hulk Hogan. You and I had discussed this and felt like if there was anybody that the crowd might be turning on of the announced legends, like he was probably going to be the most likely candidate. And the way it came across was just like overall like pretty normal, like positive reaction.
And to be quite honest, like I even if they had put him in later in the show, like I really don't think he would. There might have been a pocket of people, but I really don't think like there was going to be too much negative response to Hogan. But it's always possible. I would look at this list of legends. He is probably the one that if an audience was going to turn on someone, Hogan I guess would be your candidate.
Yeah, this was not the Titus O'Neil WrestleMania hosting gig. This came across a lot better for Hulk Hogan, and I think probably shows them this is how we should use Hulk Hogan from this point on.
Well, I don't know what that says about what you're getting out of Hulk Hogan. Like this was so nothing. It was just welcome to the show was pretty much it. I don't know how much value there is of this.
There might be some value in in his face being the first one that people see for people that used to watch wrestling when they were young. And they're like, oh, there's that guy who I heard some pretty bad things about, but nonetheless I remember from my childhood. But I mean, it's really interesting seeing Hulk Hogan on TV in the same week that we've been having the discussion about Jay Briscoe, because here we have a lot of talk about growing from your mistakes and being authentic in your apology. And I think over the past week, we found somebody who is every bit sort of a representative of a redeemed person coming off of prior mistake. And when I think of Terry Bollea, I still don't get that. Now, again, not my apology to accept, and I think a lot of people at this point have forgiven it or have forgotten it. But a lot of
I think the argument would be is that when he did talk about it, I don't think people got that sincere apology.
Well, you had criticism from Titus and
when he did the meeting backstage at a WWE event, the word that came out of it was his warning was, in this age of social media, watch out, you could be recorded. I was like, that would not be the lesson. Yes,
don't get caught, everybody. I'm the victim here.
But it's like looking at you can look at from it was a pretty low thing that this guy got recorded without his knowledge, but that does not absolve what he said in private. I mean, yeah, you have a right to privacy. That right was violated.
But that would be like Dana White complaining about, fuck the guy who recorded me, rather than
Roger Sterling. It's your privacy was certainly invaded, but that.
And thank goodness it was.
It's like you do not get a pass because of the fact that it was a private conversation you were having. So I don't know if that's the lesson you come away with. I think, you are going to be left a bit empty when it comes to forgiveness from some. At the same time, I do believe it is a time to, if you are, especially the people that were directly the target of his comments, to make that decision of, if you are somebody that, believes someone is, that you forgive them. There's also those that, they're going to be a lot more easy on figures that they admire and industry stuff that they enjoy. If you are a major wrestling fan, that you're not going to allow those comments to inhibit your fandom of a guy.
Sure, and it's at this point where We have to talk about Chris Benoit matches sometimes in Rewind Away whenever those come up. We've never shied from talking about, like, we've been like we at least are sometimes, you know, especially for the old reviews, able to like separate the performer from the performance. And you know, is Hulkamania the type of thing, Hulk Hogan itself, the character, is it big enough that somebody could still continue to enjoy tonight, which was very much just, you know, our memories of the Hulk Hogan character, and still feel a certain way about Terry Bollea, the performer? Is that normal to feel?
It all depends on the individual. I think it's a horrible stain on his legacy, but I think as well it's like Hulk Hogan as well sort of like manufactured this reputation as somebody that you know, had all, like, he came across as somebody that I don't think came across genuine in the public eye. He would be often like the furthest thing from it. Like, this was somebody that said one thing but meant another. So I mean, it's kind of, you know, the audience does not know this individual on a personal level, so they're left to sort of look at the public image that they are, and is this someone that that you feel was genuinely remorseful or not? And it doesn't feel like this is something like that Hulk Hogan feels the need to address beyond what he did a couple of years ago.
Well, when you speak about the, I guess, lack of authenticity, I mean, that's maybe something that you and I, who are privy to, like, I don't know, some of the stories regarding him off screen, that's how maybe you and I might feel. But I would say maybe the vast majority of people who know Hulk Hogan, including the people that might be in attendance, only know him from, you know, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and, you know, slamming Andre, like the warm, fuzzy feelings that one would associate with a childhood idol. And everybody gets to make up their own mind, but, like, you know, like, I only bring up the conversation because I think it's incredibly interesting that we got a national TV spot for Hulk Hogan and not Jay Briscoe. But at the same time, we've been saying a whole lot this past week about, you know, forgiveness. Is that...
And dude, for what we're arguing here with, like, Jay Briscoe, like, Hulk Hogan was completely exonerated by WWE in the sense he was brought back to television. He's been brought back as a legend. He's a celebrated figure. Like, what? Tell me, what are the consequences that Hulk Hogan truly underwent beyond, you know, he was fired from Tough Enough as a judge, but he was brought back and he
suffered the Dana White consequence of the label. That's probably what, you know, he would say.
Yeah, and that's it. So, you know, listen, when the story is written on Hulk Hogan, like, he is going to be a celebrated figure for many people, but that is going to be brought up is, you know, the content of that video. Like, that is a part of his history. I feel for many, though, it will not be the defining part of Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.